today and realize that you're realizing something.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It's fun when that happens.
Oh, it sure is. Witchstones are a divination tool we created as part of our practice that deals with what we call concrete stones, specific types and kinds of energy, and conceptual stones, things and ideas about witchcraft, which can be read with either a seen or an unseen meaning. Recently, we have developed a set of oracle cards using this information. We would like to introduce you to one of these stones right now.
In today's Witchstone Spotlight, we'll be looking at the stone for Beltane. Concrete stones focus on a specific physical energy rather than on a concept, and the last four concrete stones link the four cross-quarter times together, which are used in the practice of the craft on the path. We work with them as a seasonal time or period of our year that runs from cross-quarter day through a Sabbat to the following cross-quarter day, and are associated with a stronger awareness of one of the four physical elements. The second cross-quarter time is Beltane, beginning in early May, which displays a pictograph of black symbols for the projective and receptive energies, with the meeting point in red for the connection of spirit, surrounded by a gray border. You might recognize this symbol as a combination of the traditional masculine and feminine symbols. On the path, we lean away from the gender references and focus more on the types of energies involved. The border being the same color all the way round tells us that this is a concrete stone. The border being gray tells us that this card represents one of the cross-quarter times. During our times of Beltane, the element Earth is the most prominent. The light energy of the year is expanding, and growth of the world around us mirrors the growth inside us all. We have more time, more daylight, and more energy to apply to our spirit's path working. On the path, we focus on body and bone, the physical and spiritual roots, which are the source of our personal practices. Connecting to the energy of Earth, it is time for us to get our fingers in the dirt and to connect with our ancestral origins, always right below our feet. Beltane's magical associations include the physical body and growth, constructive working, self-knowledge and self-care, the finding of sacred places, and of life celebrations. Beltane's magical associations focus on the element of Earth. Beltane is associated with the direction of north. In the season cycle, we are in spring or in early summer. In the life cycle, this is the season of birth and the growth that accompanies it. In the moon cycle, we associate Beltane with the waxing phases and the energy of building. And in the day cycle, we see the dawn glowing with all of its potential. The seen energy for the Beltane stone in a reading is times of growth, roots of practice, and partnerships and relationships. Times of growth may mean working to create what you need in your life. Experience the growing energies of the earth and tap into this power as it grows. Roots of practice refers again to our own personal daily attentions that we send toward inward through habit. This may be a reminder of the foundations that we've built and are building with each and every day. Partnerships and relationships remind us that our foundations often include and interact with those foundations of those around us. This may involve the joining of our energies with someone else for change and for mutual development. When the Beltane stone is unseen in a reading, the unseen energy for this Beltane stone is a time of growth, something missing, or look to the roots. The time of growth may signify that we need to buckle down and do some of the work needed to nourish our personal projects expanding or fortifying the foundations of our practice. Something missing may mean that we need to take the time to figure out something we might have overlooked during planning our current manifestations. Look for the aspects of our practice that may have been neglected or overlooked. And look to the roots along those same lines implies that we may need to return to simplicity and thoughtful patience, especially with ourselves. It might also be hinting that we need to look closely to our own physical body's health.
Before we go, we would like to present you with a tip or trick or witchy hint, just something to make your day go better, because we live in a mixture of the magical and the mundane.
So for this witchy tips or tricks, I wanted to bring up a quick couple of ideas about burning Palo Santo wood. I happen to work in a metaphysical store, and we sell little sticks of Palo Santo wood. We sell bushel baskets of them every week. And I'm always surprised to find out that people don't know more than one or two different ways that they can use their Palo Santo wood. So I just wanted to give you some suggestions. Most people that I talk to simply light the end of the Palo Santo stick, and once it's smoking good, then they can walk around and smudge or use the smoke in ritual or what have you. And they find that they're going to be able to burn that stick maybe 10 or 15 times. Some people, like myself, when I'm burning on charcoal, or if I'm using an oil diffuser, take that piece of Palo Santo wood, and with a small knife, you can whittle it and get those shavings. If you use those shavings on top of any resin or any charcoal, you get a wonderful aroma because the oils are fresh right there in the wood. You can also actually, if you get finer shavings, you can put them in an oil diffuser, and you'll find that the oil will pick up the scent of the Palo Santo, and that'll work. And then my favorite personally is one that I learned from Susie. She would take a small votive candle holder and just put a tea light in the bottom of it. And then she would set the piece of Palo Santo wood across the top of the candle holder. And so it would essentially burn at the center, sort of like a rotisserie. And then she would be able to, after that ritual, after it had cooled off, she'd be able to wipe her finger on it and get some of that ash and make a mark or what have you for whatever ritual. So I always used to just adore finding candle holders all over the house with pieces of Palo Santo wood halfway across. And at the very, very least, if you're out in the woods and you have no fire, you have no chance, but you have a piece of Palo Santo wood in your pocket, you can always bash it with a rock. It will pulp it up enough where you will be able to get the scent of the Palo Santo wood for whatever ritual you need, even in the pouring rain. So there's 5 different ways right there that you can use your Palo Santo wood. Try some different ways. And if you come up with anything that I haven't covered, let us know about it.
There are times in our lives when we all feel stuck and can't figure out why we're not moving towards goals or whatever else we want to do. So in the spirit of new perspectives about this idea, here is a simple spell just to kind of reset yourself. We've all gone through those times where we get stuck. So here you go. All you really need for this spell is a nice shiny quarter or any other coin that can kind of let you focus on the shine and the movement as opposed to just it being a regular old coin. What you're going to do is actually flip the coin over 3 times while saying the little chant I'm going to give you. Start with it on tails, so that if you flip it 3 times, by the time you're done, the heads side of the coin will be up, which represents that new perspective or getting out of the old ways of thinking and doing. Each time you flip the coin, say this chant. As I flip this coin, the old no longer controls, and I begin anew, renewed and aware of my goals. Simple, right? As I said, here's the chant one more time. As I flip this coin, the old no longer controls, and I begin anew, renewed and aware of my goals. It's just a way to take a moment, take a breath, recognize that you don't have to be stuck. Maybe it'll give you an inspiration of some kind to try something different. Maybe it'll just give you an awareness that you just need to keep doing what you're doing. It doesn't matter. However, you can also keep this coin in your pocket, and when you feel yourself getting stuck again in those old ways of thinking and acting, flip the coin in the air a few times to remind yourself and reactivate the spell. Well, it looks like the coffee cups are empty for this week. We hope you join us again next Tuesday, but you can find us at our website, 2youngcrones.com. That's the number 2, Young Crones.
You can also find us on social media such as Facebook and Twitter.
Until then,
remember,
we are witches who work with energies to effect change.
We are believers in both immanent and transcendent divine.
We are celebrants of the passage of the solar and lunar cycles.
We are hedge walkers who pass back and forth between the worlds of the magical and the mundane.
We are seekers of knowledge.
We are walkers of a spiritual tradition we call the path. So will it be.